Man, oh man, here we go again, guys. And yeah, wiring, just like that little piece we just threw away. I think we're gonna jump right into our wagon here. We're doing a little wiring. Now, the last time we worked on this thing, we actually took her on her first like real test drive. Put probably roughly 50 miles on it. And I rigged up some wiring because we don't have no key switch or anything situated yet. And that did not treat me very well. That's right, we were driving along and my little alligator clip from the starter solenoid arced over to the hot, the whatever, and yeah, starter kicked in when we were going about 45. Turned her into a supercharger, no big deal. So this thing obviously is nice and cool because it ain't been running at all. She's just been sitting here hanging out. So it's a good time to try to sort some of the wiring underneath the hood. Now, to sort that, I had to look online and look up an engine bay harness, and I found one. And we basically needed that for this little connector here. That connector goes right there. Last time we were working on it, that harness was getting in my way. That connector just disintegrated. It was gone. It had perished. It was no longer with us, guys. And yeah, like $100+ and some change later, you get your whole little harness when you just needed a little connector, you know. So let's see, what do we got here? We know the purple's gonna be our starter solenoid. I think green with that connector is usually oil pressure. Green, ain't that usually a horn, maybe? Blue, I'm guessing water. Oil pressure to the brown. What in the tarnation? I don't know. I was doing some snooping online and I found us a little printout here. So we'll have a little look-see at it and see if we can't figure out what's what. Wiring, my favorite. So we're going to be looking at this connector here. That right there is just letting you know that's a bulkhead connector. And we got our green wire, we got our blue or purple. So we know this is kind of what we're looking at. Purple wire, definitely starter solenoid. Blue wire, we are going oil pressure switch. Green wire is temperature. Our green and white wire, these come off the positive side of our coil. Looks like our long brown wire, it goes over to the windshield wiper motor. And there's a shorter brown wire for the heater motor. And that would be right there. So I'm not gonna use the factory temperature senders. So honestly, I'm not even worried about them. Our other green wire there, it's gonna go down to the back of our starter. This red wire, I'm assuming it is somewhere on the vehicle still. Now, besides that, we ain't got no voltage regulator, so I got one of them right here. And it should be going right here. You can see, yeah. And then this is our generator wiring, because the generator used to kick out on this side, but now we've got an alternator on this side. I think I'm gonna have it converted to a true just one wire style alternator where it self-excites. So we should just have to run a wire from it to the battery. Now, we don't want to do it all janky over here. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna start plucking away. And I think the best step one to plucking away is get something you can cut with. Because the first real thing I wanna do is get this crap I added for our temporary job out the way. Especially you, demon starter wire. I knew that was a dumb idea from the start. Oh, HEI unit. Oh, I forgot I went professional and zip tied those. Ow, shit the bed. That little tab will get you. All right, old stuff stripped. Now, speaking of stripped, just playing, I ain't stripping. You guys have practically stripped us out of inventory on our merchandise website, puddins.fab.shop.com. And I just wanted to pop in and say thank you and let y'all know we're still chipping away at them orders that were pushed back a week by our website from that whole messification we had. So just hearing the word stripped or strip made me think of stripping and made me think of supporting people and made me think that I should just tell you guys thank you for all the support. Brush it, brush it, brush it. Like a good dentist. Just want to get in there and brush. That's pretty clean looking. When it comes to electrical, a good connection's a happy connection. There's a notch right there, and it's on the lower right side, AKA that's only gonna go on and play one way. So obviously this is probably gonna have to lay that away, and I see the windshield wiper motor. So actually, the shorter brown wire is probably gonna feed to it. And obviously the longer brown wire is gonna feed all the way to the heater blower. A little swip swap action. So as we lay that across, I don't know if for this, is that feeding? Well, that's a resistance wire, they said. But we don't really need resistance to power our coil anymore because we got a little bit more. Our distributors with the modern times, okay? So 12 volts ain't gonna hurt us. But depending on how much resistance we got on that, if we're dropping her down to 9 volts or so, that may not be enough to power the old HEI. Slight dilemma. Let's just start knocking them off here. I said short brown was gonna go to the windshield wiper motor. Right there, I see a little tabby. I don't know, is this supposed to tuck up in here? Now this sucker right here is a pain, and it is it's supposed to bolt to the firewall down there, but being how that's for the temperature sender, I'm not planning on hooking them up. Yes, you get a temperature gauge in here, but you also just get a oil light or whatever, and I'm perfectly fine with having these two mechanical gauges right there. I don't think they look bad. Those things thread right out, so if anyone ever wanted to pull this out down the road and say I sold it, 2 screws, take those right out, and those 2 screws hold your HVAC controls, so not even like new drilled holes or nothing. You could take those out. You could take the gauges out over there, thread in the senders if you wanted, and then you could hook up the wiring if someone had to have it. If you need it or just plumb factory, you know, pristine condition to match its pristine paint job, that's how you could do it. I don't know, that's a lot of wire. I may just snip that sucker and tape her up in with the rest of the harness. Let's not worry about that too much yet. That goes there. Blue wire would go down to the back of the motor for that sensor. Once again, we're not using that. And then this sucker, it may be going down there. I think we're gonna have to get some voltage on it and test it with our meter and see what kind of voltage drop we're getting. These two we know is gonna run down to the starter. So we got the old brown wire that said it's for the heater, but where and what? Right there, we've got a green wire that did something at one point in its life. And on there, there's a black wire that goes to the actual blower motor, but I do not see anything obvious like our windshield wiper motor was. And unfortunately, all the wiring on this thing was already disconnected because when I found it, the top end of the motor had been stripped off. There's only like, I want to say a wire attached, maybe to the starter, maybe. Well, the best I can tell, that ground wire right there coming off the firewall, it goes down in there, I can see. And then we've got that black wire coming over here to it. So some of our stuff ain't matching up with the diagram. Heater resistor shows it would have brown, blue, and orange. Well, if that's what that is, we've got orange, green, and green. We've got this right here that I can only assume is the kickdown relay. It looks like we've got black, tan, blue, and an orange wire. And overdrive relay, we've got the blue, orange, and black. So I think we just need to jack her up where we can get our starter wires on. We're gonna have to do that, unfortunately. Let's do that. Let's get it hooked up. Then let's just try turning the key on in the sucker and see if we can't burn her down. I know what's going on here. These people ain't gonna fool me. Who was it, like, who used to draw stuff and he drew it wrong on purpose, like damn Da Vinci or something? He draws designs and he knew people would copy, so he purposely designed some stuff incorrect, but he knew to fix it. Well, that printout I found, you can buy it for like 20-something bucks and they'll send it to you. And I bet when they send it to you, it's got some correct coloring on it. Hot and sticky in here. You ever get hot and sticky? Got me feeling like a microwaved honey bun out here. Kind of plop that down that way. I don't even understand why this would have a kick down relay, or overdrive relay, I mean. Do they put that on every single one of them? I don't know, you know, X-frame questions. I do know that ours only had a power glide though. She wasn't no overdrive special. I wasn't too sure we could get to that from down here, but I figured we could try. Now this outside stud, that's for our green wire. I'm going to show y'all how to drop this hardware and loose stuff probably. Now plumb back here where I can't reach, of course, is where that purple wire needs to go. Alright, let's disconnect the battery and we're going to try to just drop that sucker down. I think it'll make everything easier. You serious me right now? That's what Hot Rod used to say when you would do something. This is when she was like 3 or 4. Or she'd give you the caveman eyebrow, look over that sucker, and then hit you with the, you kidding me, man? Oh, I miss those days. My camera was on time lapse and it was not supposed to be. I dropped this sucker down. I was very happy because it rests on the exhaust. Now if I ever got to change that, it'll really suck. But for now, it gives us a little workbench. And dropping it down just enough like that was enough that I got our wire started back there. And the green wire should be going right there. And I'm actually gonna leave that doing the wang dangle just hanging there, because it looks like to me that we should have a wire going from the battery down to there, which that wouldn't make sense because then that's gonna feed up to the coil. All right, I'm gonna pull my head out my ass. Of course there's 12 volts running down there. To the main starter. That ain't sharing the main stud there. Green wire goes by itself. I just had to pull my head out and look at this. The green wire is for the coil. That's gonna make sure your coil's getting power as you crank it over. That way when it starts drawing all that power, you don't drop out the power going to your coil. Dummy, you idiot, duh. But this red wire would go up to a connector that allegedly turns to a tan wire that runs to the power top switch. So apparently that would be a big strong wire, something that can handle a lot of amps, because if this thing had a power top, which it does not, okay, that's probably an electric motor that's going to be doing some hydraulic pumping and it's going to have a load on it. So what I'm saying is, as long as we tighten up what we got down there on the starter side, that should be fine. We don't got no more to add. And go nice and snug. And snug. Yeah. I think that side of things will be ready for a little testing, initial test. But first, we gotta get this sucker into place. Of course, all the bolts are missing. That's good. Don't worry, I think I got a little solution here. One size up. One more size up. There we go, that should be it. Sure is. We're gonna waller that sucker out where these little riv nuts will fit in there, nutsert, whatever you call it. And hopefully we can squeeze all these in here. Yeah. those were held on basically with a body bolt or whatever, so it's just, you know, it's a glorified metal screw is all it is. And you're going into sheet metal, so once you rip that sucker out or strip it, it's stripped. But now we can use some 1/4 bolts and we should be able to tighten that down nice. The bottom one gets a washer. The sucker's slotted, so we should be able to drop that right down on. Yep. All right, I think this is our main power coming in. So I'm assuming that's gonna go to that one because it says battery. Then I'm gonna assume this red one goes to the middle one just from the length of the wire. And then these two are gonna go down at our bottom one. Oh, I bet we were supposed to ground that right there first of all. They got the battery going to the red. They've got brown going to arm, and then blue going to the F. Yep. But if this one is supposed to be battery, where's it supposed to be going? And why do we got this thing? Did someone add this at some point? And I'm an idiot once again, because plain as day right there, black wire goes and it shares with that. And why I keep overlooking these black lines on here, I don't know. Yeah. And we probably don't need to connect that. Actually, I'll show you why. Because this time I'm paying attention for black lines. And you can see right there, that's our voltage regulator. They've got it grounded. It shows it goes to the generator. So right here's our generator wiring, and well, you can see right there, that's probably where that's going. So we're not too worried about that. And I don't know why they had this wire so long. I don't know if they had it ran down and feeding it off the starter post, sharing there. But for now, we're just gonna, the wire split right there. So we want to cut back behind it just a hair. We're just gonna give it the old Pot County twist. We don't hear no sparking, we ain't getting no flashing, so I ain't too worried. But when we twist that together, guys, don't seem like it, but we've got a good little, like if something was going wrong, you can grab that and just rip it real quick. Oh, baby. She's got power feeding some stuff. So just real quick, yeah, make sure we ain't having smoke show in here or nothing. The wiring is not too butchered. The little bit I showed y'all underneath here is all I've seen that's been messed with. And I've got our key here. This was the key we had made from our glove box lock. And luckily, it works for this thing as well. Our generator light came on, so we're not generating. Did y'all notice the fuel gauge works? I see it moving. Fancy. Oh, Rupert, check my gas for me. Y'all drive old vehicles out the junkyard. You know, having a gas gauge, that's some high-end stuff. What about blinker? Well, it's trying. Our indicator light lit up anyhow. Yeah, and this sucker came on, so she may need a flasher. Same with the right blinker. Oh my gosh. I just noticed, guys, our glove box light is on. Do y'all see that? How dang cool is that? What about wiper? I don't even know how to work this sucker. Yeah, I don't know about the windshield wipers. We ain't got nothing going on there. What about headlights? Is that these? Well, she ain't very bright, but she's on. What about our brights? I can tell one kicked on. I don't think we got any lights on this side, but our passenger side is. It's probably hard to read it on that camera, but that says bright. That's pretty awesome as well. 78,210 miles. This thing was parked in 1969 because someone threw a rod through it. So it's crazy to think that this thing probably has that many original miles since it's been sitting in a salvage yard since 1970. What you got there, Bill? Don't be all sneaky about it now. What do you need?
Nothing. I was on my website hardware store and I seen you, but
oh,
I got a tri-power for my truck.
Did you?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I was taking the choke and stuff out.
Don't need no stinking choke, huh?
No.
Just some JB Weld to fill where those shafts used to go.
Well, the kit I got's got plugs for it, but I was gonna pack it with JB Weld.
Yeah.
Yeah, more solid. Not gonna pop out on backfire.
Hey, you have been in Pot County for a little bit now.
But it came with it, the plugs.
Yeah, no, I'm saying you ditching the proper plug for JB Weld.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Well, and some of the carburetors got some holes I got to plug from other people drilling holes in it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And why they did it there.
You done went castaway on me. You getting that long beard. You ain't been talking to a volleyball, have you?
Uh-uh.
All right. Look at that. Some of the headlights and stuff are working. A lot of the little indicator lights. Yeah, it's cool because it's been sitting in a junkyard since 1970.
Dude,
That's crazy.
That's a long time, yeah. Poor car.
Take our old meter here. This is not AC. You want to swap that sucker to DC. We're dead. There she is. There's the other Power Probe Deluxe. This right here, we're going to check our voltage to see if we got voltage drop. 11.7. I doubt that's voltage drop. 11.8, so 11.9. So we should be able to hook that up to our HEI and be fine. Temperature sender wire, gone. Oil, whatever, gone. And we gotta get a connector on here that can go down to our HEI. Well, that wire's green, this wire's green. It's got a connector we could use on the HEI side, and it has this stuff on there. So if we cut this down about like so, we gotta trim that back so we can expose our wire. Yeah, you can see what I'm trying to cook up here. We can cut this closer down to here. And we're almost ready for a little soldering action. That shrunk down nice. And now last step is how they wrap this stuff in a kind of tape style stuff. Right here, we're gonna give her a couple wraps. That's gonna help hide that blue wire that we snipped. And I'm gonna carry it onto this joint because heat shrink sticking out of that won't look bad. And it'll make this whole little thing kinda almost sorta look like it came like this. And this is the this right here is the completion of the HEI conversion gauge deletion kit. Yeah, don't look too shabby. Hopefully that's enough voltage for this and everything's happy. And this sucker should pop right on here. There we go. Well, since the coil's hooked up, in theory, it should start. She tried to start. Well, she started, and she did some, she's being chatty Cathy again. I heard a tick, 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 tick up there pretty loud. Hey, our blower motor didn't work, but this is supposed to be for it, so who knows what this is on here. We'll go put that on there and see what happens, or maybe this sucker needs to be hooked up to 12 volts, but I think that just powers that kickdown relay. I don't know. Of course, nothing again. We're gonna kill our battery with our light on in here. Now this sucker had one screw in it when I took it apart. It's gonna have one screw in it as I put it back together. That ain't falling. That ain't good. That's right, in a fine line of being on. Bump that again, it's on. Oh, it's almost got like the push to touch. Maybe we can kind of tweak on our hinge a little here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's better. Light went off. Light did not come on. Let's try Try to put a little looby-dooby on this. That's not looby-dooby, that's WD-40. That means water displacement 40. It's not a lubricant, dummy. That keeps water off my butt cheeks in the shower. Let's be honest, pretty dumb design. You got to push the button for that to drop, but then you're pushing it closed. And of course, as you let off the button, it just relatches itself. But with a little finger action, you're good to go. Now, we've made a little wiring progress. We just need a twist nut right there, you know, for like your house. Should be good to go. Let's take a break from wiring to pull this valve cover. Now, I said previously I did not think this valve cover was hitting the rocker, which several of y'all think that's what it is. The variation of the noise changing, and I'm pretty sure I heard it doing it with the valve cover off. Of course, me having a day or two fiasco with this thing and taking the valve cover on and off a million times, y'all's obviously not going to see everything that's happening. I realized through the video side of things, it looked like it happened every time. And it may be some of it, guys. I really don't know. I didn't think so. But I didn't realize that these valve covers were not symmetrical. I've had a few of these valve covers, and I've never noticed this. This is the third set I've ever ran on a vehicle. Bill just pointed it out to me, though. He said that they don't match. He said that side right there is thicker than that side. If you look at this side, the thicker side's favoring the top side. Now usually I know you've got a thing back there and not up here, but for me, I was going for conveniency of being able to hook that up and put oil in right here. So long story short, if the noise is coming from this is part of the problem. Obviously this valve cover just needs turned around. So let's pull a valve cover. Yeah. I don't see anything in here. You can see right there, something's been rubbing, but you can also see where we've been scratching. That's because we've been putting it on and off back there, so that makes sense. And also, if you look right here on this side, you can see where that one's been rubbing, that one's been rubbing, that one was rubbing, that one was rubbing, that one was rubbing, and that one even did it probably a time or two. But yeah, look at the back side of this valve cover. There's our bad one right there. So I think that would have been rubbing that one right there. I don't know, maybe the one that's gray from that aluminum wearing away. Of course, all of them were doing it a little bit here or there. So, y'all's probably thinking, what an idiot. But y'all think I'm upset that that is hopefully the problem? Because I'm not upset at all. I've been wrong before. This ain't the first time, and it most certainly will not be the last time, guys. That's all just part of it. I could have pulled that sucker off there, seen that, switched the sucker around and been like, yeah, I didn't find nothing, and edit it out. But guys, I am not perfect. And I'm very happy that that could possibly solve all the noises that we've been hearing. That's what I wanted to find, guys. I'm glad you're right. It was not adding up to me. I did not think it was that. I never realized those were not symmetrical. So that's why I was like, I've ran these on everything. But having that one flipped around towards the front, I should have known, because it's the only time I've ever done that. It's the only time I've ever had a problem. My, oh my, perfect timing. Here comes old Bill. What's heavy?
This.
That bag of 2 burritos? Wait till that lands in your belly. Perfect opportunity to bust open some brand new TKO hand cleaning wipes by the Sweet Patina. Need some fresh oranges? Come get it. Best hand cleaning wipe in the game, guys. I love these things.
I got recognized at Walmart the other day.
PFS64, use that code if you want to save you some at the Sweet Patina.
Yeah, see it?
1, 2. See, that one is real bad. That one's the deep one.
There's one there. There's one there.
Yeah.
One there. One there. One there. It's all of them. All but one. There's nothing there. There's one there. One there. One there. One there. It should have been like a gray mess there, wasn't there?
What you so wound up for?
I'm hungry, man. No, but I'd rather see that than a flat camshaft. That valve cover's easier to take off than the cam. And I'm glad to see some of y'all knew what it was.
Yeah, they probably just use this thing called common sense.
The one dead cylinder and then the...
Next, we just need to run us a hose up around here. These Elderbrox, they do have a plug on the back, but I don't have a proper barb fitting and all that, so we'll curve us a hose and it'll look all right. How about that right there? That looks all right.
Yeah. Fire it up.
You can hear something a little bit. But guys, the camera ain't gonna pick it up. There's still a distinct slight chatter in there. Nothing I'm worrying about though, because we gotta get this thing broke in. All right.
Sounds a lot better.
Why do you think it sounds better? Because it ain't playing patty cake with valve covers?
Yeah.
We're gonna take that as our victory for right now. Now our wiring, I'm pretty happy with that. I don't think we're gonna have anything to worry about as far as this connection. We can definitely get it fixed up a little better here.
Now what are you gonna do?
Not use them?
No.
Bill just showed me that Elderbrox making a carburetor that looks like a Holly style. I wish I had a little more slack there where we could tuck it down and make it disappear a little more, but oh well. I still wonder what this wire's for. I don't know if these things possibly had dual horns. We got one horn wire there. Looks like it's the same color. Yep, that's another wire for a horn. Our other horn, we're just gonna tuck it down in here, let it kind of be hidden. Nothing's live. We're still gonna, I'm gonna tape these up, and we may tape it along this harness over here. It's our eyelets here. We're just gonna wrap them up good. This one I know is the ground, I'm not too worried about. All right, that don't look too shabby, guys. You got it, you got it. And yeah, something like so. You won't notice it unless you're looking for it probably. And I just don't want to cut up that harness, that one that I just put on there. I don't mind cutting up because I know you can hop online, order a whole new one. It's super easy to replace. This sucker on the other hand though, I do not know. WB radio, whatever. You're totally missing a fuse for the radio, and for the bottom ones, tail lamps maybe, or spot something. We are definitely missing a couple fuses though. I don't even think I have any glass fuses, guys. Got any glass fuses, Bill? What do you mean, what's that? Oh, I do have some. Thought I did. Had these in here forever. This one right here should be big enough to handle anything. I think we'll definitely benefit from cleaning them up. Gotta be careful with this one here. Instrument, she's a little 3-amper. Still no wipers. I was looking at our diagram a little bit, guys, trying to understand our blower motor situation, and I decided just to check it here, and it looked like we had voltage, so I had Bill go in there and try to adjust on it. Go ahead, Bill, go down a little bit.
All right, there's a quarter.
So see, guys, we're getting voltage as long as that sucker's grounded, which we're pretty sure it is. Unless we got a bad body ground, which we don't have a body ground, so we probably have a bad body ground. I do think that's grounded though. I got voltage right there, so I know it's grounded. I think it's full of mouse house, just plumb packed. We're gonna open this up, pull this off, and have a look. Oh, yep. Can y'all see up in there? Yep, we got some rat's nest action. My favorite. Nope, it was starting to turn. Did y'all see that? So maybe one of these nuts or something just had it wedged, but I just seen it move. Alright, I'm gonna do a little bench testing here. Cleaned it up, cleaned up her ground. Hey, she's moving now. I'm gonna clean her bolt up, and I bet dirty grounds is gonna be a couple of the issues we end up finding on this thing. Not to mention that bottom's out on a fiberglass box. Let's see here. Hey, I hear some air from somewhere. Yeah, she's up there on defrost. It's not really changing speed a whole lot. It may just a hair, but blowing's blowing, guys. Better than what we had. Oh, you forgot your jitterbug?
I'd be happy to place that call for you,
Mr. Bill.
Okay,
Mr. Bill.
I'll add that name to your phone list.
You know I don't care yet.
We're gonna start today with some more stripping here. First thing, we're gonna get this alternator off of here. I'm lucky enough to have a local, actually I think we got 2 alternator starter shops. So they can pull the sucker apart and put a regulator in there, make it a true 1-wire. Or maybe they just got a 1-wire ready to go. Maybe we can just buy that off of them. Either way, I want to get a 1-wire for this rig. See right there, it says remanufactured in China, so our alternator is good for at least a month and a half. There we go. Yeah. Now that's ready to go, but since we got to go to the big city anyhow, we're gonna pull some other stuff off this and swing by the parts house while we're out and about. Oh, is that one assembly? Well, I did not realize that was just one big piece. This one had a little lazy eye going on. It was a little looking that way. Oh yeah, that sucker's broke. With the whole little bucket removed, we got little screws here. That's going to retain the trim ring. The trim ring retains it to the bucket. Pull that sucker apart. And there's your headlamp, light, whatever. Pull this one. Bench test. Dang right. We don't want that to come on. So hopefully that means our wiring's fine. We just got bad lamps on this side. Headlight switch on. Get your meter out. We had brights over there yesterday, but apparently not today. Got good 11 volts now for our brights. Same on this side, so those are definitely the issue here. Now yesterday, the old flasher was up there. I just put a new one in it. And we'll turn our key on and see if we get blinkers now. Nope. Oh, yeah. I better switch in here's just a little dirty. We're blinking left. You dang right, that sucker's bright. We're blinking right. Oh, baby. Now, I don't know if any of this stuff back here is hooked up. We'll have to kind of sort through it. More or less, I want to know if I need to get either one of them light bulbs, and we do not. We do not get any dash lights, which is rather unfortunate. Yeah. So back here, how's that come out of there? There we go. I'm gonna pull these where we got these two style of bulbs. Now, unfortunately, I get to do some running around, which is like my least favorite thing ever to do. But it's what we gotta do. So, I'll be back. I always come back. There's our 5001 and our 506. I don't know if that's right, but it's what I got. So I took my alternator to the alternator shop. It's kind of a sad deal because the owner of that place, the head honcho, he passed away not awful long ago. And not to be mean, it's just it don't look like it's operating very efficiently. There are starters and alternators stacked up about as far as the eye could see. But also, they close at 2. So I really doubt we'll be getting it back today. So after my running around, I had to run out to the new place because, well, here's a little teaser. We're breaking some ground out there and I had to move some of my junk out the way. All right, plastic won't hold it. You know, metal never would have. What a stupid design. No wonder why it had a lazy eye. All right, let's go for a test. Oh yeah, I can already see some bright lights up here. Slapped the other one on as well. That must be the brights. Why don't you say we just tame her down a little bit? Sorry, didn't mean to blind you. What the heck, now we got nothing? Hey, there we go. Just tap on it a little bit. On, brights, off. Yeah, baby. Hey, we'll take that. This side has original working T3 right there. And also when the brackets that our little adjuster screw threads into is broken. So I'm gonna have to look online and see if we can buy these little clips because it would not hurt to put new ones on all of them. Got my file. We're gonna clean up in here, get a little bit better connector on this one. All right. We're definitely gonna have to get back in there if we can find little clips to actually fix and be able to adjust our lights because this one's a wobbly Joe. That sucker's going a little bit everywhere. Headlights on. Boom, boom. Give her the brights. Bang, bang. A little progress is a little progress, and that's good because all we've made is very little progress. So I was editing. I did some research about this little relay thing because I really don't understand what all we have right here. I know we have a resistor of some sort in here where these yellow wires are going to. That's what that is. I don't know what down here is. This relay I assumed was this overdrive relay, but on the internet I thought I seen something that said that's like the fast speed or high speed for the blower motor relay. I don't know. Now, of course, I'm using this, but I don't even know this wiring diagram's correct. I just know we got a blue wire that goes to a fuse. That goes and feeds the relay, allegedly, for the overdrive. And this blue wire here, it loops right in here, and it goes up to there. So either way, I have decided we're gonna hook 12 volts to this wire and see if anything changes for us. We'll just give her the quick connect method for now. When that fan is going slower right there, I think it's just a very finicky line that it rides. We still ain't got diddly for wipers. Who recognizes this green wire coming out of this harness? What would it went down to? I'm assuming something close towards the exhaust because there is a burn up green, or the wires burn up right there, I mean. And then this whole little thing, what the heck is it for, huh? And then our windshield wiper motor. Are we supposed to be getting 12 volts there and we're not, maybe? The meter will tattletale. We got voltage. Trying to feel the motor, see if it's getting hot at all. Because what if this sucker's just jammed up from not moving in forever? Since we send a constant 12 out there, I don't know if there's different speeds on this thing, but if there is, it's probably because we're changing the ground. And all the wiring's intact underneath there. So I'm just assuming we ain't gonna hurt nothing by pulling this switch if we can figure out how to get it. There you go. Yeah. That had a little set screw on the bottom. Nice little nut in here we can spin with our screwdriver. And luckily this car was fancy and had air conditioning, so we got a vent right in the way. They were not playing no games with this thing. Helps if you get the right size. Yeah, bless. This little thing's lighting me up. Alright, so the switch being right in the middle is the switch on, and I'm assuming that would be for like our windshield pumper thingy majigger. Yep, that's what's going on there. Well, that's arcing like it has a load on it. And that wire's just ran over here to ground. So that's supposed to be our ground coming in, and we know we ran a good one. We know we got 12 volts right there. I don't know what else could be causing us here, guys. I'm assuming that's our ground wire there that runs to our switch, and it just pulls the ground from this being grounded. Nope, that ain't it. Gotta be smarter than the windshield wiper motor, which I am not. Let's see if we can pull this cowl and get to that windshield wiper motor. I don't know how hard it is to get out of there. It's a little ornery considering they've probably never been off. I don't know what we gotta do about this this trim here. We got our nozzles though for the windshield washer fluid underneath here. Don't forget to drop a screw, that way you lose it. Oh yeah, pop on out of there. Yeah, we could definitely use the suck job down in there. If sucking don't get it, blow on it. Safety first. That cleaned her up pretty good in here, which is nice. Next, I'll probably break this clip. That's probably what's gonna happen. Oh yeah, come to sweet papa. Pop that off there. I was wanting to do that to make sure that didn't have a load on that, which I think if it was, we would have been able to tell. I was also assuming and hoping that to mount that there was going to be bolts from the top side facing down, because I ain't got a clue where the bolts will be on this. Even if I knew where they were, boy, that's going to be hell getting to them. Well, I hate to admit defeat, guys, but even if I could get that windshield wiper motor off there, it ain't like I can get another one, or I seriously doubt I can, because that thing's fancy. It's got the pump and stuff, so I bet that'd be like a special order. Even if you can special order. Slap that back together and slap this back together. Oops, forgot that big ol' AC vent. And the AC vent just broke. Perfect. AC stuff on these cars go for big money actually. So they're key on. Of course, we still ain't got no windshield wipers, and I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a 2-speed. We should go there and get a speed, and then there and get a speed. But can y'all hear that? Listen closely. So the pump that's built into there, we've got it at least clicking. I'm assuming there's a relay built into it all. So at least I know now we're providing ground to it, because if we weren't, we wouldn't have that. So we did a little good, but I still think our motor's in bad shape. Plus, guys, let's be realistic about this, right? You don't even need windshield wipers. Because, guys, times have changed since this car was designed and built. We don't need windshield wipers. We have this stuff called glass water repellent. You spray it on. Oh, they probably had this back then. 50th anniversary? I would not have guessed that. Not quite 61, but hey, this crap's older than I thought it was. This will get us by for now. Just set it up there where we forget to put it on, and then if we do get caught in rain, you know, we'll be good. And drop the front down, but before I do, apparently we've been doing some road grading here, because got a lot of rocks in there for no further than we drove. That's good. We'll probably end up smacking them brake lines one day and pinching them and then having to replace them. It's exactly what we want. We're gonna move to the back, but to be able to get a jack underneath the back, we gotta get the front down so this thing ain't doing the wheelie. Oh, gonna lose a knee, I keep that up. You don't want to dance battle me, buddy. You make me stand up with my cane to dance battle, I'm gonna whip you. Before I forget, let's grab our 5/16 real quick. And the best I could tell, after our last little outing in this rig, the tire on the passenger side was rubbing a little bit. There we go. That looks pretty good, and that looks pretty good. Now, since the panhard bar favors the back side, I kind of adjusted on it till I made sure the tires look square in there as well, because it's definitely kind of twisting the rear end. It ain't just moving the whole thing a perfect side to side. It's kind of whoop whoop angling it back and forth. All right, to our taillights we go. Hey-o. I think we may be onto something here. I don't know if that'll shove down in there. Just put on the old Michael Jackson glove just in case we shatter this sucker. Hey, some of y'all noticed the blue on here before, and someone thought I added that as part of my fake patina. No, says I. That's factory. There we go. That's right, pay attention to 61s. I think some 62s have it. But these white cars that have blue interior, I don't know who's painting this inside, but they like to come out and dust this. It's on this side too, that's factory. Start paying attention to white patinaed wagons. See if they don't have some blue on the back. Well, that makes me happy that's on, and we ain't gonna have to fight the wiring on this anyhow. Let's go try the blinker. We should have blinker right here. Nothing. Well, maybe this is blinker. Oh, no, maybe that is blinker. It just started blinking. Don't you just love the little piddly crap of a car build? My favorite. Woo! Oh yeah, this side worked real good. Let's check the blinker. Well, hot damn Uncle Sam. I mean, all we needed was some bulbs, a flasher, and to work that old blinker switch a few times, get the corrosion off of it. These blinkers work better than any of my other ones. But our lights in here, I'm assuming them are just running lights. Now right now I know they're nothing lights, because I believe one wire fed this tailgate, and when I took it off, I may have cut the wire. Then we need to have a look-see in here. Now where could this wire be? I cut it and it hid from me. There's one end of the wire. Oh, little hidey hole compartment, huh? Yeah, I found you. Had to reach way down in there to solder that sucker. Next, a little heat shrinking action. Luckily, this is that good heat shrink that's got the glue built into it that helps hold the joint as well. There's a little spring-loaded clip. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I got it in there. We ain't got nothing. So I forgot I pulled these out, which means I probably cut the wires whenever I pulled them out. Oh, well, they disconnect. Can't imagine why the light ain't working. Let's think with our noggin here. Now we can see up in here. We're gonna hit our mechanism with a little looby dooby. Get her slicked up real nice. This side, easy peasy. I can get to both wires. All right, that's all that should need. I'll say that as that is not lit up. Well, we got 10 volts. And we got 10 volts there. That don't make no sense because I just grounded off of there and checked power there. We had 10 volts there. Unless, even if it's having a crappy ground, we ought to be able to shove it in there and get it to ground. Yeah, checking to see if this is grounded and I can't get no reading. So I guess our little socket ain't got a ground. So I guess these just crimp in. You know what they say, if all else fails, get a hammer. I'll take our meter and check for continuity between that aluminum and that brass, and we ain't got diddly. Next, you want to simply insert that into your vise and get your favorite pecker out. Just give her a few pecks. Remind that metal that it likes each other. Now check for continuity. Hey yo! I just showed you how to fix some of your tail lights with a hammer. I think those are for brake lights because those are just a little bit brighter than the outside ones, which means those are for stopping, not for running. Where like that little sucker I took out the one side, that's more like it. Of course it couldn't let me win, could it? Couldn't just let me have one to end the day, could you? What about brake lights? Do we have brake lights? Oh baby, I see something lit up. Oh yeah, that's gotta be both sides, ain't it? And shall say we get crazy and try to start today off with some proper bulbs, perhaps. I looked up our one light bulbs to see how much the running lights were. The wattage on them, they are 8.3. These ones are 8 watt, which means they're pretty close to the same brightness. I like that. Looking fancy. I pulled our license plate lights out. They're in bad shape. I'm gonna see what the internet has to offer. If they end up not having anything, eventually we'll rebuild these. It's almost like that's crimped on there, and I guarantee you we're gonna end up breaking those lenses. We may not, but if someone happens to remake these and we can just whoop, swap her out, even better. Besides our little light bulbs, I got her charging device back here. And hopefully she's a one wire. They used to put me a little cap on there to kind of plug that. But hey, as long as she charges, she charges. However, since we've got that off there now, I did grab a fan spacer to try to shove that fan forward some to get it up in the shroud more. By just a little, I mean about 2 inches, because that's the spacer I grabbed. Set the fan down out the way. Pop your pulley off. And take your studs out. I do not believe I've ever used one of these, ever. And I ain't convinced this is gonna fix our problem, but it's easy enough, we'll try it. That bottom side's hollow, and that just goes onto your water pump, obviously. And then there's a stud hanging out the front of that spacer that your fan should sit on, like so. And the tricky part's gonna be getting a bolt through there, getting that sucker started. Yeah, I have to do some stretching here. I'm doing this weird tippy toe, lean over, hold yourself with your legs on the core support, and it's killing me. Got me huffing and puffing. I think I got one started. Gonna go for a new approach here. New angle. That sun's just on kill mode, so the back of my legs are on fire, but don't worry about that, that's fine. My legs are on fire. Oh shit, they're on fire. Oh. Why y'all let me do that, huh? I literally moved it out of the way, guys. I moved it out of the way where I could get a better angle to it. Never thinking, hey, you should put your pulley back on. So luckily I just got all 4 of those ran down. And luckily I get to take it all off. And luckily I get to do it all again. Water break! Come on. Come on. Spacers on, fans pushed up, pulleys on. Let's get that alternator going. They clocked my casing wrong because this bracket is supposed to sit there and thread into that, so this whole thing needs clocked. Pick her up and spin her just enough to index it. Yeah. Here at Puddins Alternator Repair, we'll index your casing correctly. Yeah. Slap that sucker back on. Now we need to build us a wire to go from here to our battery. Some of y'all's gonna hate this, but I think I'm gonna do it out of black because our ground's down here. We can drop the wire down, then zip tie across with it. I think it'll look good. We'll just kind of whoop. I'm kind of trying sort of to make it disappear a little bit. Now for this, we want a good thick wire. We're gonna crimp it. And we're gonna solder it. Drop that down. Let's see here, let's see. Oh, she may fit. Get on there. Snap. Snap, snap. Snip those down off there and see, that don't look too bad. Now we can just get a little eyelet on here or something. Except, hey, go figure, I ain't got an eyelet that size. Next, we're gonna hook up the body ground, and we got a ground and a screw right there, so we're gonna use it. We'll install it back with the new ground added. And now we can just whoop that right up here, solder this connection, call her GUD, call her good. That should be a happy ground there. Now this we're just gonna rig up for quick testing purposes. We're gonna put that in there. And also I'm about to start this up and I'm still hearing a little noise that I was hearing when the valve cover was off, so that makes me feel good because I know I'm not crazy. So I'm gonna leave y'all up here so hopefully you can hear it when it first fires up. I just want to see what kind of voltage we're getting from our alternator. Right at 13 volts, so we're charging. We're gonna add a little more tension to the alternator belt. I didn't give it a whole lot and she was squeaking. Well, I think we're about ready to put some miles on it again. Better go get us an eyelet. Prepare for blast off. Got it. Just fix it up like our other ones, a little solder, a little heat shrinking, guys. The wiring on this wagon was good enough and intact enough that I'm pretty confident using it, and I didn't want to rewire the whole wagon. I don't want stuff to look botchy neither. But just little stuff like this I think's alright for this build. I did just top a radiator off and put about 1/4 gallon in there, and it don't seem like much. But when you're dealing with cooling engines and peak heat, that little bit may get you. Blowing out the cowl, there's all kinds of little stuff that had worked its way into the cab, so we don't want to suck that up as we're driving around. I think we're at a good point, guys, to put some miles on this thing. No, we didn't get all the wiring sorted and fixed, but at least we got some rear lights and stuff like that, some important stuff, you know, off the switch. But more important than having every little light working at this point is continuing to put some shakedown miles on it, go see if we're going to run into any new issues. And yeah, you just got to put miles on these things. Ask Lake if you want to go to lunch. I didn't know that meant we were going 3 deep, but hey, we got one bench seat, you know. All that square footage back there, and here we are. Dude, this thing drives awesome.
Good.
Yeah, like, this is like borderline feels like driving a new car sometimes. Like the steering and the brakes and just how everything feels. Other than Matt's knees touching the dash, we got quite a bit of room.
More than the E-Haul. Jump on the highway.
Where are we going?
It's over there by Rib Crib.
Getting real strong.
There's smoke right here. Yeah, it's smoking now.
Coming through the vent.
Yeah.
Oh, get the camera on it.
Hard to see, but there's a little bit of smoke coming through there.
What the heck? Oh, I wonder if heat's flowing through that heater core for the first time.
That's got stuff in there.
Guys, I'd messed with all the cables and stuff, and all I can figure is maybe I opened up the heater valve and we're flowing coolant through the heater core for the first time.
Probably cooking a mouse.
Woo! We're definitely cooking a mouse. Maybe we burn it all off, man. The smell weakened up on us.
No more smoke.
We got old Slick behind us now. That'll give us a little space to not be sitting on each other's laps.
Oh, that's cool.
Good looking car. Doing a little cruising. Oh baby. What's old Bill staring at? Bill, hop in the front. We got room for one more. Good amount of driving on it again. I don't think that tire's rubbing. Let's look at this side. I don't know. It may still be rubbing a little bit, or that may have been old. I should have cleaned the tire off first, you know. I'm gonna let this sit here and idle and see how much it creeps up on us temperature wise. It actually kind of looks like it had been staying right at 210. I'm gonna get over here in this shade right now with a little breeze. Feels like air conditioning. Gets a little toasty in there. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I'd rolled up the back window. You wouldn't think having that back window up would cool it off in there, but by like a stupid significant amount it's cooler, guys. Just driving with that back window down, you literally feel the heat from the car roll up the back, and it like just circulates. I don't even know how to describe it, but you can literally feel it just heat up instantly when you get above like 25, 30 miles per hour in that thing with the back window down. Overall though, guys, I would definitely call that a success. On another test drive, most of our chattering's gone. We still need to just do some braking it. Well, you know, when you don't have the valve cover on backwards, it's easy to get rid of chatter. So we still need to be putting more miles on it. There's a few more electronics I'd like to get figured out. The dash lights for at nighttime. The windshield wipers wouldn't hurt to have them, you know, at least able to work. It's definitely ready to just keep driving on it. Now I'm sure we're gonna have to keep working on it, but as far as the making big long videos with it again. I think we've got it to the point where whatever we do want to fix, we'll probably just fix stuff here or there on the second channel. Now we do need one more good week with it. We gotta get the front bumper on. We gotta get some stuff polished up. We gotta get her sauced up. Y'all know we gotta get that patina sauce on her. So she still needs love. Oh, and the interior, that thing needs cleaned out. We're probably gonna buff a little in there too or something. So we ain't quite done, but she's pert near there. Whew. All right, guys. Oh man, salt in the wound right there. I stepped on my glasses the other day on accident and I broke them. That's why we had to bring old Pinky here out of retirement. Guys, that's it for this go around. We still got a handful of stuff to do, but ain't there always something to do? Yes, there is. In fact, we're trying desperately to get the shop ready for move-in, because before too long, the house is gonna be ready for move-in, and I wanna be able to just hopefully move back to back in a week or so into the house, into the shop, and just like that, we teleported out here. So I gotta get this sucker ready. I don't know what that's gonna allow us schedule tomorrow. I got a whole lot of irons in the fire. But anyhow, I appreciate you guys watching. I know troubleshooting old electrical stuff ain't the funnest thing, but it's part of it on an old project, guys. So I will see you guys next time. Oh, don't forget, I'm on the Instagram or I'm on the Patreon, and you can get good quality merchandise at the puddins.fab.shop. And I will see you guys next time. But do not forget, sitting on your ass won't finish your project.